This video is brought to you by G2A.com. Check out the link in the description for cheap games. Yo, what's up guys? Jack here, and today we're bringing it back to some CSGO. The last CS video I did was back on June 7th, the cheating epidemic, where I was pretty much raging about the amount of cheaters plaguing CSGO matchmaking at the moment, and the fact that Valve aren't really doing anything about it. That sucks. Has anything changed since then? Well, yes and no. Are there still cheaters? Of course there are. You can't get rid of the fuckers. Is there a new sound effect for the Mag 7? Well, yes there is. Wow. Is there a new sound effect for smoke grenades? Would you know it? There actually is. How about some new skins? Of course there is. Obviously Valve have their priorities in a different place here, which is really bad. But one thing that has started recently, and that's actually made a difference, is that they've made the Prime matchmaking service live. Yay. And I have to say, I've played about 7 matches since it's gone live, and none of them have had a cheater in them, as far as I know, or at least not a cheater who's Spinbot 360 no-scoping everyone with a taser through the entire map. It's been pretty clean and we've had some really good games. So why is this working? Well, if you don't have your CSGO account hooked up for Prime matchmaking, you definitely should. So what are the requirements then? Well, firstly, you need to link a mobile phone number to your Steam account from inside CSGO. It's very simple to do. Done, then you click the upgrade to Prime button, GG. However, there's also another requirement, and that is that you've got to be at least level 21 on your CSGO account. So that requires gaining a lot of XP from playing casual and or normal matchmaking and various other game modes, so you get to level 21. As such, if you've got both of these things and you've got a party of 5 players who are all Prime activated, you can search for a Prime matchmaking game, and it will only match you up with players who are also Prime activated. So they've got a phone number on their account and they've reached at least level 21. This is awesome, and it means way less cheaters and much better games. 10 out of 10 Volvo. Are there still some cheaters on Prime accounts? There probably is, yes. There's probably a few hanging around that haven't been vaxxed yet, but it's a good step in the right direction, and like I said, in 7 games, no cheaters for us. Get in. It's a really good first step towards cleaning up the game, but in reality, Valve could be doing a lot more. Valve Anti-Cheat, as I've said before, is in dire need of an overhaul and a massive update, so hopefully we'll get to see that soon. So then, a little bit of cheat stuff out of the way there. I thought you guys would like an update on that. And moving on, as you probably know, the map DE Nuke is now in the main CSGO map pool, replacing Inferno, which I believe is getting a remake. That doesn't really mean much for me and you, because we can still play matchmaking on Inferno if we want to, and we aren't being forced to play Nuke. For the pros though, their tournament will now have Nuke in the map pool, and they'll have to play it at some point. So previous versions of Nuke, like in 1.3, 1.6 and CS Source, had tons of areas which you could wall spam. Maybe not the latest CSGO version, but certainly older versions in different games. So in this video, I wanted to go over a few of the spots that you can spam in the new version, because this stuff is really useful to know on a map like Nuke. Some of these you'll probably 100% expect and maybe know already, but there are a few in here that you probably didn't realize existed. Let's start with a spam that you can't spam anymore, because why not? The roof of the main lobby was never as spammable in CSGO. Spammable, that's such a weird word, as it used to be in like 1.6, but you could still do it. In this new version of Nuke, however, it's almost impossible with a rifle. Spam away to your heart's content, but it's not going to get you anywhere. The windows are actually spammable, but what's good is that because A, they're too high, and B, even if you were high enough, it's not going to get anyone. Even if you do get on the railing and aim downwards through the windows, the spam won't work, as you really need to be aiming straight for it to actually go through. Overall, the roof isn't the spam fest it once was. The main places that you're going to be able to wallbang are the doors. This door, for example, at lobby, easily bangable, and in some situations could be useful if you know that someone's in the lobby. The same goes for the door on A main. It's completely spammable, and you need to prepare yourself for that if you're a CT playing in A main and the terrorists are pushing outside. It will be a pretty common place for terrorists to spam. It was spammable in the old version as well, so nothing really new here. How about at ramp? Well, that's got a massive door leading down onto the bomb site, and that's slightly different. With rifles, it's actually not spammable at all, so don't waste your time and hard-earned bullets. With an AWP, however, that's a different story. You can definitely land some frag-worthy clips if you get some well-aimed shots in the right place. And the same thing applies to the door that sits between ramp and the A bomb site. You can actually spam through that with an AWP, but not with a rifle. It sort of harks back somewhat to 1.6, when you could spam players through the wall and they were coming out of hut, but of course, this is far less overpowered. As well as that, you can wallbang a few other spots. The wall to the left of Secret can be shot through and might be useful in some situations. Of course, Heaven can also be spammed. This is even more useful now that the catwalk links the entire outside to Heaven, so be wary of players spamming through the wall. Hook can also be spammed pretty thoroughly, as you would expect. Doors, of course, they can easily be spammed, as can the vents. Bullets will go through both sides of the vents, so always put a few shots through if you think someone is behind them. Next though, some spots that you probably wouldn't expect. First, you can actually spam the floors in ramp room to get someone directly underneath. You can essentially spam the entire walkway. Admittedly, this may not be used that much, but if you know a CT has fallen back from ramp and you've gained control of it, it might be worth taking a few shots and just see what happens. And then finally, we've got the new toxic room, and well, it's pretty vulnerable. Not only is it protected by a window and a spammable door, the entire roof can also be penetrated very easily. Bang that shit. It may appear as though it's a good spot, but if you're in there, you've got many ways that you could actually be killed without even seeing anyone or having a chance to react. So, there we go. That was probably the most sexual innuendo-laden CSGO video I've ever made on this channel. Wow. I doubt you knew all of those spam spots, but if you did, thumbs up to you, have a blue Peter badge. And if you didn't, well, I hope that you learned something new, and let me know what your experience with Prime matchmaking has been like so far, because I'm bloody loving it. Also, t-shirts, if all goes to plan, should be coming next week. More info on that to follow. Very exciting times. Right then, if you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down, and I'll see you in the next one.